What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Wheel Route Fantasy Football. We are jumping in, or I've jumped in here, a Frenchie8 Superflex. Waiting on one more to join. Sorry, forgot some technical things. Get cruising here momentarily. Where did I? All right, we're full. I'm in the 5-hole. About to get rolling. Sorry, I always forget a couple of little technical things I like to do. But we'll get there. Oops. All right. How much time? We got about 15 seconds till the draft starts. Again, this is a super flex Frenchie. There's only 2 entry. The breakdown. Actually, let me pop out the draft board for y'all. And let's shift that over there. Actually, shoot. Sorry about this. I should have had this set and ready to go, but we are rolling. This is the Frenchie Superflex. It's you only get 2 entries in this, 2 entry max. Grand prize is only 10 grand. The advancement is 4 out of 12, 1 out of 2, 1 out of 2. So it is a small tournament. Chances are a lot of people will play this close to the vest, but we'll see. Maybe not. Usually in the smaller tournaments, you see far less risk tanking. I wonder if D. Chancel knows that it's Superflex, grabbing Jamar Chase. In the Underdog Superflex, the roster construction, I should double check and make sure, but I believe it is one quarterback, 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, tight end, flex, and a super flex. So basically what they generally do, and I'll double check on this, what they generally do is take away one of the mandatory wide receiver positions and just change that to a super flex position. Yes, that is what they're doing here. So I started thinking about this the other day, actually, kind of, because there's always the possibility, especially in best ball, of a running back or wide receiver entering the super flex spot. I was kind of thinking of it in a way that maybe you combine the quarterback and wide receiver position and think of it as one position overall. So you need a combination of 4 starting running back and receiver. Is that right? No, 5, because you have a flex and a super flex. Although you could use running back in the flex. And usually in these super flex drafts, because you need fewer wide receivers, running backs go quick. And I'm going to grab Ashton Genty. Just because, well, I guess I would have grabbed Patrick Mahomes. Stafford, Dart, going before Mahomes seems ridiculous to me. But kind of my hope was on the way back, there's definitely going to be a quarterback worth rostering there. That could be equivalent to Patrick Mahomes this year. Patrick Mahomes, I like him in regular drafts and the non-super flex drafts. I'll just put it that way. because he's going in the 8th round, generally speaking. Sometimes he'll squeak to the 9th round. So you're getting him at a super value. And even here, considering that he goes after Stafford and Dart, he's a value there, but he's still a 2nd round pick in a position that could be filled in with multiple other positions. Basically, Lamar's my 1. Whatever quarterback I get next is my super flex position, but may not always be in that super flex position. Another reason why I kind of started thinking about it, all right, I'm going to get Jordan Love here just because around that turn, quarterbacks kind of, after Mahomes went Bo Nix, Purdy, Goff, Kyler Murray. So I'll get the next kind of, or the last of a tier, I think, in that Jordan Love. I actually think Jordan Love, along with a couple of these others, should be going before Dart or Stafford. So I'm quite happy with that. I actually have Baltimore Green Bay combo stacks in a lot of drafts so far. But going back to my round two pick of Ashton Genty, I was going to have a dilemma if Jonathan Taylor made it to me and whether I was going to go Jonathan Taylor or Ashton Genty. I do have Ashton Genty ranked higher. And seeing that this is only a 2-entry tournament, you got to kind of go with your guys, go with your rankings overall. And I have Genty as my running back 3 now. I actually have to adjust it. I decided yesterday to put him ahead of Christian McCaffrey. But as you can see, like after Genty, the only one that went was James Cook. So maybe if I got Mahomes there, maybe Genty falls to me in the 3rd, but you never know. And I would rather just get my guy, play it safe. And I don't think the difference between Jordan Love and Patrick Mahomes is going to be that much this year, especially in the 2nd-tier quarterback or super flex position. After Love went Mayfield, Derrick Henry, Sam Darnold, Saquon Barkley, CeeDee Lamb, Tyler Shuck, Devin Achane to finish the 3rd. Then we have Malik Willis, Chase Brown, Daniel Jones, Amari Hampton, Cam Ward, CJ Stroud going in the 4th. And I am on deck after AJ Brown goes. I'm left with Kenneth Walker or Brock Bowers. I'm going to go Kenneth Walker. I really do like Bowers, and he goes next. But I also think you can make up points at the tight end position that you can't necessarily, like the difference between Walker and, well, I guess Breece Hall will be available or could be available in the next round. Maybe Bowers was the right pick there. It's a tough call. Kenneth Walker generally goes before Bowers in non-super flex. Yeah, so I just kind of went that way. And the running backs run around the corner, the Jeremiah Love, Breece Hall, Javonte Williams. The teardrop between, I guess Etienne might make it back to me, but the teardrop there is significant. And technically speaking, I could go with Trey McBride if he makes it to me. I would have liked Drake London to start out my wide receiver room. This guy just picked Brock Bowers, so chances are he's going to let McBride go. He goes with George Pickens. It's either Trey McBride or Nico Collins. I'm going to go Nico Collins. I feel as though I can make up points at tight end with going 3 tight end. And this is a 20-round draft, so I'll have at least 3 tight ends in this. I guess I could have looked quarterback too. Really, the only starting quarterback remaining is Geno Smith. I guess you could tack on the Fernando Mendoza there. My bye weeks are late, so Mendoza is an option there. Geno Smith. Oh, he ends up going, so that's not even going to be a decision. All right, so After my Nico pick went Trey McBride, then Geno Smith, Rashee Rice, Terry McLaurin. That kind of, so Mendoza's the only, well, I guess he's not even starting the beginning of the season. I assume I'll give Kirk Cousins maybe 8 weeks. I think it's doubtful Kirk Cousins even makes it to their week 13 bye. But having a week 13 bye there is the same as Lamar Jackson. So I'm gonna have to play some tricks with a third QB. See what I can do there. But as I was saying, we could use a position player in the super flex as well. So it kind of, at this point, I'm going to treat it as more of a your standard non-super flex draft and just bulk up on wide receiver, running back, grab 3 tight ends when appropriate, and build that way. Possibly getting QB in the later rounds. I could get 4 quarterback too and stack Cleveland or Atlanta. After Rashee Rice at 5'8", when Terry McLaurin, Travis Etienne, Devontae Smith, Colston Loveland at the 5'12", Ladd McConkey starts out the 6th. It is all the way back to me. I'll go Malik Neighbors. What the heck? He was the next in ADP. Actually, I should have gone Zay Flowers there. That was absolutely stupid. I jumped way too quick on that. I did not look at what I was doing. I didn't even have it scrolled up to the top of ADP. I was playing around over here, not paying attention. Get to rambling a little bit too much. All right, the 6th round started out Ladd McConkey, Kyron Williams, Fernando Mendoza, Travion Henderson, Josh Jacobs, David Montgomery, Jacoby Brissett. I reached accidentally for Neighbors. Cam Scatterbust goes after Neighbors, then Tua Tagovailoa. So I can't even play that later round game with the Atlanta quarterbacks. Wow. Quarterbacks. Like that first round, it was like, do people realize it's super flex? And then all of a sudden they disappeared. I'm glad I grabbed Jordan Love when I did. After Tua goes T. Higgins and Bucky Irvin to close out the 6th. The 7th starts with Quinshon Judkins. And I'd be really happy if Zay Flowers made it back to me. It'd be real nice of the guys in the draft here to be like, whoops, Wheeler is streaming, and screw. All right, so I don't get my Zay Flowers stack. Tatori McMillan goes. And I'm left with kind of a dilemma here. I'm not a fan of Olave. I'm going to go Igbokwe. Yeah, what the hell? I'll go Igbokwe. He could be in line for a big season. I probably should have been looking running back here too, with Bashal Tutin kind of ending a tier, and there being plenty of wide receivers coming up the next go round. Yeah, I probably should have not really paying too close attention, but that's all right. I'm going to do 2 of these and I will make up for it in last draft. This was a really good start though. I really liked it until I wasn't paying attention in the 6th and kind of scrambled in the 7th when I couldn't get my Zay. Oh well. All right. So after Tatori McMillan went Garrett Wilson, then I took Igbokwe, and then we see Chris Olave go right after that, then DeAndre Swift, Tyler Warren, and Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle's a guy I like. He's been getting a lot of hype lately too, just based on, Denver went out and got him for a reason, specifically to fill a role, and that role is probably going to be on the field all the time and heavily targeted. So he's going to be moving up a little bit. Tony Pollard goes after that. Then we see Mike Evans come off the board at 7-11 and Bashal Tutin to finish out the 7th round. All right. aggravated that I didn't stack Lamar, but maybe coming back here. We got Christian Watson queued up. Get a little stack with Jordan Love. You can stack the heck out of Green Bay, guys. Well, in your non-super flex, I love getting that stack. Well, Christian Watson goes. So to start the 6, we see Luther Burden, Devontae Adams, Jadarian Price, Christian Watson, Carnell Tate. I could go running back here. I think I will. Just get a little caught up there. Oh, shoot. I wanted Ramondre. I'll go with Jalen Warren. Not a fan of Chuba Hubbard. He was next in ADP. I mean, if he comes back around, I will take him. I think I have 1, maybe 2 shares of him so far. It's not a secret how much I am in on Jonathan Brooks. My ownership on him, I'm going to have to check it again. I think I drove it down under 30%, but I think lately it's bouncing back over. Actually, when my slow drafts start to close out, I was really trying to get away and lower my exposure to Jonathan Brooks, but he always seems to fall in that zone where it's just like a perfect time for a running back, and the other running backs around are J.K. Dobbins and Kyle Monangai and Blake Corum, Kenny Gainwell. None of them, I don't see any of them really taking over their backfields, where I see Jonathan Brooks very likely to take over his backfield. All right, and then 9. So after my Warren pick went to Deshaun Watson, Chuba Hubbard, R.J. Harvey, DJ Moore to finish out the 8th. Do you keep Breece Hall or Bucky Irving? I keep Breece Hall all day. So DJ Moore closes out the 8th. Brian Williams starts out the 9th, along with Michael Penix. Roma Dunze, Marvin Harrison. I take Tucker Kraft. Then we see Jordan Tyson and Parker Washington go. Tucker Kraft is my first tight end, and he is a stack with Jordan Love. So the Watson and Penix picks to me are, well, the team in the 4-hole only had Jackson Dart as a quarterback, so I guess grabbing he should have come back with Shedeur just to maybe lock up the Cleveland quarterback situation. The guy in the 2-hole, after going Mahomes, Goff, and getting Aaron Rodgers in the 5th, grabs Penix in the 9th. I think that's a massive waste of a pick. But then again, I guess playoff time, either Penix or Rodgers was a wasted pick, in my opinion. All right, so after Parker Washington went Rico Dowdle, Harold Fannin, Sam Laporta, Jonathan Brooks. Oh, that's what I was going to do. I talked about Jonathan Brooks and then passed him up. After Jonathan Brooks goes Blake Corum at the 9-12. Starting out the 10th, we have Quentin Johnson, Kenneth Gainwell, Alec Pierce. Got about 5 picks until I'm up. All right. Nothing really stackable. Some bum-ass running backs that I don't really like too much. Ugh. All right. I see 1 wide receiver I like. So where am I? I'm at the 10-8. I think I got to reach a little bit for a stack. Yeah. I'll get Jaden Reed here. Think he's going to be on the field more now that Green Bay has thinned out their receiving core, and it is a stack with Jordan Love. So I got a nice little double stack there. Love, Kraft, and Reed. I like when I get Lovecraft. There's a toy store, we'll call it, around here called Lovecraft. I'm in the Baltimore area. So if you're from this area, you've probably heard of it. All right. So after Quentin Johnson, Kenneth Gainwell, Alec Pierce, Kyle Pitts, Kyle Monangai, Aaron Jones, Rashad White, I take Jaden Reed at 10-8. Then we see J.K. Dobbins, Michael Wilson, Ja'Cory Crosby-Merritt, and DK Metcalf closes out the 10th. Josh Downs and Mekhi Lemon start out the 11th. I might reach again. I don't really consider it a reach. I think he should be going right around Kelsey, if not before him. I take Mark Andrews for a stack. It's my second tight end. Probably, all right. I'm pretty evened out here. I don't need another tight end until super late. Got both of those quarterbacks stacked. Can really focus on running back and receiver for a while. I guess I could try to, well, if Shador comes back to me, I'll sneak him in there. Probably a lot of these guys are going to go. Who does Green Bay play? Green Bay plays Houston in week 18, right? All right. And the Ravens play Cincinnati. So you can play, or I often, actually in larger field tournament. Actually, let me clarify all of this. It's going to be about qualifying, beating one or two. And then you have a week 17 matchup against 400 plus other teams. So planning week 17 stacks and bringbacks is likely a rather significant edge. So I want to keep that in mind. So I'm going to be piling up on Houston. I don't want to reveal what I'm going to go with next in case. All right. So I am going to get Shador Sanders. Was not planning on that at all. But even if Deshaun Watson starts the season, Shador is likely to end the season. And I can't think of really anyone else they're going to want or need to see there. Cleveland defense is going to be worse this year. So they're going to have to put up more points. Or they're going to try to put up more points. Deshaun Watson, even if he starts, will not be able to get his happy endings this year, and Shador Sanders will finish it out. I really wanted to get that punchline out. All right. So after I take Shador Sanders, went Carson Beck, Matthew Golden, Dalton Kincaid, Kevin Concepcion closes out the 12th. Then we see Khalil Shakir and Wan'Dale Robinson, Isaiah Pacheco start out the 13th. I got two running backs here that I'll be happy with or content with. Yeah, I'll go. Woody Marks is that bring back I was talking about, but I'm going to go with Tyrone Tracy. So I probably say it in every draft I'm in because I do draft a lot of Tracy and I go over just about every pick. I might miss some here and there, but I always call Cam Skatteboo Cam Scattabust or Scam Cataboo. I just don't think he's going to amount to anything. Yes, when he plays, you want to start him or play him in DFS. But the way he was, so there's two things. One, he's slow as dirt to begin with. He excelled last season because if you remember, he started out slow with a few touches in the first 2 games, I think it was, and then burst on the season. He got to work his way in, get there slow, have fresh legs when other people were reeling. Bursts on the scene, goes head first, like into every attempted tackle, trying to spear his way through tackles, just unsafe running. And then he gets injured. Some people are calling it a freak injury. I say, slower running backs tend to get caught and hurt. So, regardless, he's been injured. He was slow. He's not going to be faster after an injury. He's going to be slower. And just the way he plays makes him prone to injury in the first place. So, I grab a lot of Tyrone Tracy. And he fits this squad nicely. All right, so coming back to me, we still have a few running backs here in the queue. And 2 I like, but I'll take Jonah Coleman from Denver. J.K. Dobbins is another one that very talented running back. And the last 2 seasons, I think it's 2 seasons now, he's played most of the games. But even the teams he plays for know he's falling off. Like Denver let him go and then just brought him back when they saw other teams, offering contracts to him. So they pulled him back saying, you know what? We couldn't get the Breece Hall or the Kenneth Walker or anything out there that we really would have liked. So JK, come back. We'll get a rookie. And Jonah Coleman will probably eventually take over the Dobbins role. Harvey will have a pass catching role, which might expand some this year as the coaches begin to trust him. Maybe Coleman isn't a great pick this year, but if he does excel, it'll probably be late in the season. And I lost track of everything that was going on here. I will go with Denzel Boston as a stack. I rarely get Denzel Boston. I hear people talking about him a lot. But he tends to fall in non-super flex drafts. He tends to fall in a zone where I'm not looking at receiver at that point in time. And I have very little Denzel Boston. So for him to fall here into a stack, the one problem, and it's a big problem actually, because Sanders and Jordan Love have the same bye week. I'll get through. It's not that big a deal in best ball. We can fill in a running back or receiver in the flex. Lamar Jackson needs to stay healthy for this team to work. And when you grab somebody in the first round, you are betting on that anyway. So no big deal. All right. Just looking at what's available. Actually, I should queue up the tight end here too. What do I got? I got 3 quarterback, 5 running, only 1 more running back, 3 more receivers. Time to grab some Houston guys to bring back on. Oh, I got Nico too, so I already have a bring back for Green Bay. We might just be able to go best player available for most of the rest of this draft, just because I don't want to stack too many more Cleveland players, although I would like Jerry Jeudy, but we might chill on that for a second. How many? Yeah. I'm going to grab Deebo Samuel here. I feel like he's fallen a little bit further than he should. That gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wide receivers. Who's Cleveland play week 17? Colts, right? Any Colts sitting here? So we have Cleveland, the Colts, Green Bay, Houston. It's really going to be Houston, guys. And I need running back and can go tight end. The ADP in these super flex are quite jumbled compared to the non-super flex. Just even in position, like I could see in the running backs, Nicholas Singleton has dropped to the 210 ADP in non-super flex. Marshawn Lloyd has dropped a bit, and Jaden Blue was shot up, but they're all jumbled in different orders here. I'm going to grab Ray Davis. He's been sitting around forever. It feels like, anyway. He's been sitting in my queue for a while. All right, and he has a different bye week than every other one of my running backs. I am done at running back there. There is one quarterback who I've talked about in the past who I would consider in the very last round. And in fact, I am likely to get him in the last round now that I think about it. So, I need tight end here. Not here. Maybe in a little bit. Actually, no. Sorry for making funny noises and stuff. Just trying to find the guys in my queue. I need to roll that up. So after my Debo pick in the 16th, and I probably left off further than that, went Mac Jones, Pat Freiermuth, Jeremy Bernard, Terrence Ferguson, Mike Gesicki, like all three of the tight ends. I probably should have grabbed a tight end instead of Debo. But I have something in my back pocket here. They all go. Jerry Jeudy is another one. If I didn't have two teams with the same bye week, I would have double stacked Cleveland there and gotten Jerry Jeudy. I get him as often as he fits on my teams and can get him. Usually I'm trying to stack at the end of drafts here and don't usually stack Cleveland. But I do think Jerry Jeudy is due for a bounce back year. He's one of those every other year guys, and it seems that on the even number years, he has pretty good seasons. On the odd number years, he falls off. After him went J.J. McCarthy and Trey Harris. I took Ray Davis. Then we see Zachariah Branch, A.D. Mitchell, Nick Singleton, Calvin Ridley, Samaje Perine, Marshawn Lloyd, and Tank Dell. I really wanted Tank Dell with my next pick. Where is... All right. I'm probably going to go tight end before I pick up my last receivers. All right. We see some backup quarterbacks going here. I am going to grab... Yeah, I'll just do it. Darnell Washington from Pittsburgh. We've heard some good reports about him lately. He's lost 50 pounds at the urging of the team and with the guidance of the team. So he goes from a 311, basically a tackle that can catch some passes and run people over, to now he weighs 260, and he was fast at 311. Like fast for tight ends in general at 311 pounds. Now he's 50 pounds less. He's going to be hyper athletic, or he's going to get hurt. But I think we might see Darnell Washington take over the slot in Pittsburgh. Would not be surprised. After I take Washington, we see Kamani Vidal, Evan Ingram, Deshaun Stribling, Dontavian Wicks closes out the 18th. And we see Pat Bryant starting out the 19th. I would have liked Bryant. Just think he's being undervalued for the most part. Denver's wide receiver 3, almost for sure. Although they have a extended rotation there. So I guess he's appropriately priced for the risk. We see Darnell Mooney go. I am going to take Jalen Noel as a bring back for week 17 to my Green Bay stack. And then last round, let me think. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wide receivers. So this is the point where you got to decide, is this 8th wide receiver actually going to add points to your team? Do you want to go with another right? See, I could go Jaden Blue here. Elijah Surratt. Oh, that is a nice little stack with Lamar Jackson. So if Surratt makes it back to me, I probably should have taken Surratt there instead of Jalen Noel. If Surratt makes it back to me, that's definitely my pick. Jaden Blue is sitting here. Troy Franklin, Rashad Bateman, meh. You start to get in the zone where are these guys even going to ever enter a flex or super flex? Like Surratt and Jaden Blue might. I don't think Bateman really will. I could be wrong about that. I guess Tyquan Thornton could. But I'm also thinking about a quarterback who I think is likely to start. I'm going to go Surratt if he's available. I think I have Jaden Blue after that. But if not, there's a quarterback who is likely to start several games this year. And maybe we'll just have to wait for the next draft because I'm going to get Surratt in a stack with Lamar Jackson. Just to let you guys know, the pick before Surratt, Michael Mayer, I have 15% Michael Mayer in all drafts. I think that is an amazing last round pick there. And I probably would have gotten him in the 18th where I grabbed Darnell Washington. But Mark Andrews, one of my 2 tight ends in my stack, already has a week 13 bye. So I don't like crossing up bye weeks at the 1Z positions. So just review my team, and actually I am going to jump in another one of these super flex drafts. I would say if you want to join me in these drafts, join now, and I will give you the 7 seconds it takes, because there is a 7-second delay between when you hear me and when I said it. So I said now, I waited 7 seconds, and then I clicked join. We should be good to go if you wanted to get in this draft. If you are in the draft and you're watching, let me know. Say hi. It does to say something in the chat does require you to subscribe, but I merely do that to kind of keep the bots out and just trolls in general. You could always unsubscribe right afterwards if you don't want to get the note, but turn on notifications, just because, I was supposed to go up to New York to take care of my parents this weekend, but we found aides to cover it. Both my parents have dementia, and we can't always find aides, or sometimes aides, have to go do different things. Anyway, but we got coverage this weekend, so I'm here and I will be drafting. I plan on doing at least 2 hours tomorrow and 2 hours Sunday streaming drafts. If we get a lot of viewers and participation, likes, subscriptions, we get a lot of them, I'll go longer and longer and longer. Tonight I'm going to do 3 drafts, so I'll do 1 after this. It'll either be a puppy or it'll probably be a puppy after this. But if I get a lot of audience participation, maybe you could talk me into a BBM. I'll leave that up to you. It's going to take a lot, like quite a few likes, probably more likes than I have viewers. All right, so to start off, you guys see the new draft board. Excellent, great. I guess I didn't go over my last draft. I can, if y'all remind me, I can do that a bit later. Starting out the next draft, we see the quarterbacks race off the board. We did not see this in the first draft. We saw 4 receivers go in the first round of the last draft, and this is looking more like what I am used to seeing in these Superflex drafts. We had Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Drake May, Bijan Robinson, Joe Burrow, Jaden Daniels, Gibbs, Chase, Puka Nacua, Christian McCaffrey. I will take Jalen Hurts. And then coming back, I think I'm going to go quarterback coming back. Just feed into, well, it kind of evened out there, didn't it? I could go, it's either running back. I think if I go running back, it's going to end up being Ashton Genty over Jonathan Taylor for me. And I kind of did that last draft. But then quarterback struggled getting back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go Justin Herbert. Get my 2 quarterbacks. You like going Daniels and Superflex? Jaden Daniels. Yeah, sure. I like Jaden Daniels in general. I think both him and Lamar are kind of being underdrafted. They should, Jaden Daniels and Lamar should go back to back in a non-super flex. They should go like end of the 4th, beginning of the 5th. A lot of times Jackson will go mid to late 5th and Daniels goes in the 6th. And I love getting either one of those 2 in non-super flex. In super flex drafts, it's kind of whatever falls to me. I was more than happy getting this Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert in the from the 11 hole. Really happy with that turn. But yeah, you kind of, our last draft was a little bit different. The first round, I feel like both Drake May and Jaden Daniels fell. And I think Drake May could be and should be mentioned within that. Jackson, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, they should all be going in that like early 5th round, while May and Daniels are going well into the 6th in most non-superflex drafts. Yeah, I think Hurts can be lumped in with them. But I think if Philly's smart, if the Eagles are smart, which I wouldn't really ever accuse them of, but at a certain point, don't you have to stop the tush push all the time? I feel like they eased off it a little bit last year, and that might be a reason for their lack of success. But I would think you want to start to use the rookie Stowers or Goddard or just use Barkley, or, don't do the tush push on 1st and 2nd down. Try to get in other ways. I just think they would want to save Hurts. But then again, like the mood, the tone in Philly is that the whole town wants to get rid of him. I don't know. Yeah. Like, I like Hurts, believe me, has won me a considerable amount of money over the years. So like, especially, I think it was 3 years ago. You were able to get him in drafts where he's going now, like the 6th round, sometimes 7th round. Even like I've even seen him fall into the 8th round in non-super flex, obviously. But so he's coming down to that price where should be a massive value. Yeah, a lot of guys like Lemon as well. I don't like the fact that Lemon has climbed like 20 spots in ADP over the past couple of weeks. But in non-superflex, he becomes a nice, neat little stack with Jalen Hurts at the turns if you choose to do that. Yeah, it seems like the Eagles are the easiest way to points for sure. Oh, wow. I want this turn to be running back, but Justin Jefferson is sitting here just like waving with both hands, man. I can't let Justin Jefferson pass me, can I? I shouldn't, right? Why is it always kind of stall before it comes to me? I'm going to grab Justin Jefferson. I've talked about, like the value of wide receiver is a little bit diminished here, but in any other format, he's going before. Well, I guess he's going at the right spot. It just feels really late. And I can get a running back coming around the turn that's going to be more than adequate and stack a few in the rounds after that. Yeah, for sure. Eagles. I grew up a Giants fan, couldn't care less about them anymore. So like there's this like part of me that's like dirty Eagles fan. But they've won me plenty of money, and I definitely appreciate the Eagles nowadays. All right, so just kind of reviewing the draft as a whole. Starts out real quarterback heavy, evens out a little bit towards the end of the first, but it closes out at the turn with me getting Hurts, the guy at the 12 getting Lawrence, Caleb Williams, and then I take Herbert. Prescott goes with the next one. We see a couple more position players in Taylor and JSN, then a run of quarterbacks, throw in a position players here and there, but we really see quarterbacks fly off the board. And already, like when we get to the 3-9, we're in the Malik Willis range. Although I do think CJ Stroud that we see go in the fourth, CJ Stroud should be going right behind Kyler Murray ahead of Shuck. And ahead of Mayfield, ahead of Willis. I think Darnold should be up in that range as well. We're relying too much on Shuck's running ability and Malik Willis, the thought that he's going to be able to start all 16 games, 17 games, whatever. Well, we worry about 16 of them. I just don't see that happening. I see Stroud in a bounce back year, Sam Darnold in an offense that's going to transition from a whole lot of running to more of an even pass, slightly pass. They'll pass more this year, given the fact that Kenneth Walker's gone, Charbonnet's still hurt, and they're going to expand Rashid Shaheed's role. And Shaheed is a guy I like grabbing late. So I will go for my Justin Jefferson pick. We see Kenneth Walker, Devin Achane at the turn. I grab Derrick Henry. Then we see Chase Brown, CJ Stroud, Brock Bowers at the 4.5, AJ Brown at the 4.6, Etienne at the 4.7, then Drake London, Sam Darnold, Cam Ward, Trey McBride, and Kyron Williams closes out the fourth. Coming back in the fifth, we see Rashee Rice, Jeremiah Love, Bryce Young, Daniel Jones, Breece Hall, Javonte Williams. Hoping I don't want to call them favorites, but one of my, I think is a massive value running back. Hopefully he makes it back to me. Otherwise, there's a sharp fall off, and I'm going to have to reach if I don't get my guy. Give me my guy. Come on. You got enough running backs. Go somewhere else. Get out of here. George Pickens is next in the ADP. There you go. Get yourself a quarterback. I will take Josh Jacobs. I don't think there will be any legal ramifications this year. And he will probably be playing with something to prove. Oh, sugar. Don't take my guy. I was between a rock and a hard place. I couldn't grab my guy. Oh, yeah. Got my stack with Devontae Smith. This team's looking pretty. So my squad, Superflex, Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert, Justin Jefferson, Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, Devontae Smith to stack with Jalen Hurts. This is fun. All right, I need to keep an eye out for other stacks as they come. Yeah, Ladd McConkey, if he comes. Ladd shouldn't come back. I wouldn't think he would. But if he does, it'll be a nice little stack there. I'm not very high on Ladd, but whenever he falls to a value or like here, if I can squeeze him in a stack, I will gladly take it. But he should, by ADP, he should be gone before it gets to me. A couple guys that I'd be just as happy ending up with. So the QJ rise. Who was it? So it was probably a little bit to do with Flock Fantasy kicking back in with nightly drafts, and he won a lot of money last year from QJ. Not great news on Ladd McConkey in camp. And Ladd McConkey, that was his problem in college, is that he was hurt all the time. So by process of elimination, people are just drafting QJ earlier and earlier. And I think it was, all right, it started with, let me reach around to get him in a stack, or now it's reaching a half round to get him in a stack, and it slowly but sure. And actually it was probably like, well, his ADP just started to rise and rise. And as it rises and rises, people go, oh, I can reach a couple picks here. But like each night his ADP was climbing up, 2 or 3 spots. And it's like, oh, now I only have to reach a couple of spots. Now I only have to, and it just snowballed and continued. It's going to have to stop soon, right? Well, there goes Ladd McConkey. And it's hard to see. We'll do a non-super flex draft next and just see where he goes. But yeah, there's no huge news that came out, but and people justify it too, because was he a first round pick? I know he was an earlier draft pick that bombed his rookie year, but sometimes wide receivers take 2 or 3 years to break out. So all right, coming back to me. I'm not reaching for QJ here. I can tell you that. And that's a lot of times in these super flex. All right, so I have very little Jadarian Price. Actually, you know what? I am going to go with Luther Burden here. Just because I did there's 2 running backs I like, and I don't think this guy at the turn will grab them both. I almost just took Jadarian Price, and I'm kind of talking myself into him now. I've been off the Jadarian Price bandwagon, but he's falling to a zone that feels comfortable. And I also hesitate in this draft because he has the same bye week as Josh Jacobs up here. I'd rather not. I'd rather my, top 3 receivers, top 3 running backs not have the same bye week. It just kind of fits the pieces to a puzzle better. So I'm between Jadarian Price and Tony Pollard. I'm gonna go with Jadarian Price just because I think even if he doesn't, he should get 10 to 12 opportunities right off the bat. If he can do something with them, then it'll snowball and explode. Worst case scenario is he sputters out of the gate, but builds momentum as the season go on, and then has to split with Zach Charbonnet toward the end of the season. But even we saw with Kenneth Walker, if he's a facsimile of Kenneth Walker, which I think he could be, but we've never really seen it. We haven't seen spit from Price yet. But it could be a boat. Should have taken Loveland in the 6th. The only reason, and you're right, I could have, but Devontae Smith was my stack, and I felt the need for running back there. I like Loveland a lot. In fact, in non-superflex, I've been grabbing him in the late 4th, but as I've kind of eased off him because I have a lot of them, now I see him going in like the mid 5th. So I need to adjust on Loveland. And if he's going to go in the 5th, it's tough in the 5th. I just feel like the 5th has a lot of guys I like, but the 4th doesn't have as many I like. The 12 hole should have taken. Oh, for sure. Yes. Dead right. 12 hole definitely should have taken Loveland in the 6th round. Just, yeah, even thinking like the difference between David Montgomery, Jadarian Price, or Tony Pollard, probably negligible, right? Like David Montgomery's certainly going to get more touches. Well, what does he do with them? You know, I think Houston's strength is their passing game. Their line should be a little bit better than last year. It was pretty rough last year, but another year. And I think they might have added to it. I kind of forget. I need to update my offensive line research. This weekend, I plan, because I now have it free, I plan on trying to put together some actual real projections. And that's kind of where I start, is the offensive line. So I've looked at different offensive lines and who's going to be good and bad, but like I need to do a little bit more in depth, especially if I'm going to go through and do some projections. All right. After Jadarian Price, we see Roma Dunze, Tony Pollard, Tua Tagovailoa, Jalen Warren, Ramondre Stevenson, Carnell Tate, Chuba Hubbard, DJ Moore, Christian Watson, Rico Dowdle finishes out the 8th. Then to start the 9th, we see Jordan Tyson, Brian Thomas, Tucker Kraft, RJ Harvey, Michael Penix, Marvin Harrison. We are deep in the deep in the quarterback. Probably, as I said in the previous draft, I'm going to wait and try to show you what my secret stash might be. All right, so we see a couple. Oh, Jonathan Brooks goes. I was scrolling down looking for him. I'm like, where is he? Where is he? And he was taken. Then we see Blake Corum, J.K. Dobbins, D.K. Metcalf. I'll double stack with Mekhi Lemon. Not crazy about Manungai. Might go tight end here. Could go running back. Oh, I wanted Laporta. I'll grab Harold Fannin. Fannin has started to fall to a value in non-superflex. I think here maybe, I was going to say maybe I reached for him a little. Well, by ADP, he was up there, but I was going to say maybe he should be going a little bit later, and then George Kittle goes right after that. So we might see a tight end run. Kyle Pitts here, I definitely do like, but we've already seen Tua and Penix go, so I wasn't going to be able to stack him at all. We see Deshaun Watson go right after Rashad White, and then we see Kyle Pitts go here in the 10th. So we see a bit of a tight end run, so I was happy to grab one of them. Quentin Johnson, did he get Quentin Johnson? I should have gotten Quentin Johnson. No big loss. No, there he goes. After Pitts went Jaden Reed, Kyle Monangai, Alec Pierce, Quentin Johnson. I'm actually like, we'll see what happens. I'll still be able to stack Herbert with some weaker links, but I probably should have gotten QJ instead of Makai Lemon, just so I have each of them stacked. The double stack on Philly isn't totally necessary because I could still throw in Goddard and get a double stack. Although Goddard could, I think Goddard should be going right in this, well, Kelsey Andrews kind of range. But he is going a little bit later. Probably not late enough that I can push him on down the road too far. A couple wide receivers coming up look good. Ugh. Do I want to do that again? I might. Gadsden and Harris, Brennan Thompson. Yeah, Keaton Mitchell is a lot. One that I think Keaton Mitchell is going way too high in most drafts, but you will see like Superflex. He goes a little bit later. Actually, he goes right next to Dallas Goedert, but they're at the other end of the board. So if I want Keaton Mitchell and Goddard, I got to reach a whole round for them, which I'm actually not totally against doing right here, now that I think about it. Like I like Jacoby Myers. I like Tyrone Tracy, Mark Andrews, and then Shedeur Sanders is one I was thinking about there. Like that guy. Okay. Stacking Cleveland. I like. Surprised he didn't stack Atlanta. Okay. I'm going to do I'll grab Dallas Goedert first because I think Keaton Mitchell is probably, well, they're both likely to come around the turn. Yeah, so I'm skipping over like Mark Andrews, Jacoby Myers, Tyrone Tracy, and a couple other guys that I could have gotten, but these stacks fit nicely on my team, and reaching around when you're in the double-digit rounds isn't too much of a travesty, especially in a super flex. It's not detrimental by any means, and the stacking gives you an edge, especially in that massive week 17, right? So I am looking for massive spike weeks, in specifically week 17. So in this tournament, 4 out of 12 make it out of this league, and then the next 2 rounds, I just have to beat one other person. It's 4 out of 12, 1 out of 2, 1 out of 2, and then a 416 team final or 400 something team final. So you just want to win week 17. You can, build yourself a good team, come in 4th place, head-to-head matchups the next 2 weeks, boom, in week 17. That's what you're looking for. All the money's in week 17. And there isn't a ton of money in this, but it's totally backstacked. So why not reach for the stacks? And I also have to remember, okay, I can bring backs of San Francisco and Kansas City. San Francisco and Kansas City. They are going to have to be the last picks in my draft. Tyquan Thornton. I already got it. Harris and Brennan. Oh, my last tight end needs to be Gadsden, right? Yeah. And I probably want another quarterback. And it's going to have to be a backup quarterback, right? Yeah. But I have a little trick up my sleeve. I kind of already passed up one of the stacks for him. All right, we'll see. After my Keaton Mitchell pick went Michael Pittman, Dalton Kincaid, Chris Rodriguez, Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, Jordan Mason, Ricky Pearsall, Wan'Dale Robinson, Kevin Concepcion, Tyrone Tracy. I would have liked him. The Tyrone Tracy is the running back I would have gotten, but Mitchell is more of a stack. I definitely like Tracy better. I talked about him last draft, though. Start out the 13th, we see Matthew Golden, Jaden Higgins, Jalen Coker, Woody Marks. Price and Mitchell have a nice symbiotic relationship with Price starting out strong. Mitchell bids momentum team before Chardonnay comes back. So Keaton Mitchell is going to have between 5 and 8 touches a game every game all season. He'll have a specific role. Kamani Vidal is the backup. If Omarion Hampton gets injured, Kamani Vidal will likely take 15 to 18 touches. Keaton Mitchell is one of the specific role type players, not a real like backup kind of guy. But I know you're not suggesting that necessarily either. You're just saying he'll start out hot while Price gets warmed up. Starting out this. Well, actually, I am going to need the beginning of the season because Derrick Henry is probably going to start out slow as well. I'm hoping Josh Jacobs really booms. All right, tight end's done. Do I have any wide receiver stack possibilities? I think I'm going to go running back here. I'm going to go Tyler Algier. It's like a double condom pick. But I also think he will start out the season with more touches or equal touches to Jeremiah Love. And then towards the end of the season, of course, that will be phased out. Or Tyler Algier still has a chance to be traded as well, right? Like Arizona signed him. I don't know if they told him they were considering about drafting a running back in the first round. I would assume not. Like I'm assuming Tyler Algier went to Arizona thinking I get to be a starting running back. I get to prove myself. I had a sensational rookie year, and then Bijan just stomped on my ass. I'm going to prove that I should have been, I could have been a core of a team. And then all of a sudden the same exact thing happens. So I'd imagine he's frustrated, but then again, he is getting paid. But when Arizona loses like 7 out of their first 8 games, he might be like, yo, get me out of here. Yeah, that's how I see it. But I do think they will lock on to the veteran for 10 to 12 touches, like for at least the first 3 or 4 weeks. And that'll get me off the ground there. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. I need wide receiver pretty badly. Only one more running back, no more tight end. Probably use a quarterback somewhere along the line. But as I said, not really any left. Let me just the one little trick I have up my sleeve. And if anybody figures that out, well, I guess there's I think there's one backup quarterback who is guaranteed 6 starts. I don't think many people agree with me, but the starter, there's no way, unless he drastically changes his playing style, there's no way he lasts, the whole season. All right. What other things do I want to look out for? Just receiver, really. Let me just look at receiver. Duo. Just looking to see if any of these guys are stackable later. Who do I have again? Hurts and Herbert. I certainly don't need anything else from Philly. Oh, San Francisco. That's a little bit after. I will grab, I don't want him in there. I'm going to grab Deebo Samuel, who knows where he'll end up. But I'm sure he'll end up somewhere. And, as soon as somebody gets him, he's going to be driven up draft boards. All right. I think I have my next. At this point, everything becomes a reach. I don't worry about it. After the 14th round, it's kind of all the same. like literally. I'll grab Dijon Stribling as a bring back to the Eagles stack. I guess I can queue up some running backs. I don't want to. I only need one more running back, really, with my room the way it is. And I'm only going to grab values if they really come to me, so I can wait on that a little bit. Trey Harris. Ooh, my eyes glazed right over him. Damn it. Maybe he comes back. Plenty of running backs here. I'm going to skip Dontavian Wicks. I can get Brennan in the last round. I got that 19-20 turn to play with like two kind of last round picks. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to get two more receivers, a running back, and a tight end. Is that right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. For some reason, my math isn't mathing correctly. All right, two more receivers, a running back, and a quarterback. Oh, I only have two quarterbacks. I thought I had three quarterbacks sitting here like, how doesn't that math work? Oh, because I only have two. Hopefully Hurts and Herbert will fill up the QB and Superflex most weeks. Let's say, I probably will need a position player in the Superflex maybe for 6 different weeks. But with 6 running backs, 8 wide receivers, and 3 tight ends, that should not be really difficult in a best ball. Fields wouldn't be bad, but I really don't think he gets any starts. And if he does, it's like maybe the beginning of the season or a week here or there. Certainly not during playoff weeks. I think if he does get starts, yeah, it's going to be great points. And I like the preseason best ball, I have a ton of Fields. Like I think I'm close to 20% Fields. And for quarterbacks, that's a lot. Like quarterbacks, most of the time, they're just double normal. So like normally quarterbacks don't get you almost never get quarterback ownership over 20% because it's really easy to spread that out. You want different stacks, and all of a sudden like the quarterback ownership levels just kind of even out. But I did have a lot of Fields just as a flyer because I thought Mahomes might start the season on PUP. If he doesn't start the season on PUP, he's going to have a real injury for them to like take him out and not play him. Too much talking on my part again. I am going to grab Jaden Blue. Probably didn't need to jump on that quickly. Where is... I can get him later. Sorry, I just need to queue up. Oh, well, no. So Brennan Thompson will like literally be a last round pick if I do that. I do have Gadsden and Keaton Mitchell, so I don't need to stack with a Chargers wide receiver, and my running back is done after that. So, and I'm just going to grab Tank Dell here. I'm kind of going to ruin another stack I was looking at. Oh, shoot. No, that's right. Okay. So my third quarterback, if I get who I want, isn't going to be stacked. Well, he might be. He might be. I might stack him, or I'll get Brennan Thompson. Yeah, that should work. Yeah. I can do that. All right. So Tank Dell, I just think, is probably the most likely to break fantasy football from the 18th round. Like if any of these picks that are remaining, we've seen Tank Dell do it, right? If he's back to health and he's saying he's on pace, somebody made the comment that Tank Dell was their 5th wide receiver on the depth chart. And Tank Dell tweeted or something, posted Instagram maybe, something about, yeah, right, I'll never be the 5th wide receiver on that team. Da, 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 da. So he's now, not only is he working hard to rehab, but now he's got an extra chip on his shoulder, fired up. And, a month ago, my Tank Dell ownership was 49%, I think. I think it was actually 49. Maybe it was 47. But either way, over the past month, I've kind of driven it down to, I think, in the 30s, in the high 30s. But with this fired up news, and actually, so Darnell Mooney goes, I was hoping to actually grab him as the other wide receiver. Oh, wow, Kupp is still there too, huh? And I see a lot of actually wide receivers that I don't know about a lot, but Pat Bryant, Elijah Surratt, Jalen Noel, I like these guys. I'm kind of wondering if I should use them instead of stacking Brennan Thompson. Oh, that was the other thing. I could have had the Tyquan Thornton bring back. In fact, that's what I might do there. I might do Tyquan Thornton instead of Brennan Thompson. I think that's actually a smarter pick. Although, oh, there he goes. I might do a different stack altogether. Yeah, I'm going to do this. So I'm going to get the quarterback now. Jameis Winston, I think, is going to start 6 to 8 games because Jackson Dart plays like an idiot. And if we're thinking, oh, he'll play smarter this year, he'll be safer. He's young, he's having fun, but just the other day he was reportedly throwing passes to guys on wave runners off a yacht, and then he runs to the end of the yacht and jumps off the edge. And yeah, like I did that too when I was his age, for sure. I was a knucklehead. I also wasn't signed by a professional team to play sports for millions of dollars. And it just goes to his character. Like, he's a kid, and I'm not blaming him at all for having a blast. But I'm not going to put my money on someone that is reckless. I say this, and meanwhile, I drafted Josh Jacobs. But it's just reckless kind of with his own body. When you're playing a professional sport, being reckless with your own body isn't a smart thing. And then in the last round, instead of getting the Brendan Thompson stack with Justin Herbert, I already have Herbert stacked with Gadsden and Keaton Mitchell. So I wanted to stack the Winston, Darius Slayton. I originally wanted Darnell Mooney. They signed him off free agency. But apparently Darius Slayton is looking the best in camp. That can be. They got 9 receivers in camp. Slayton may not be one of them when it comes to September, but he could be. So little dart there. And actually, like, even if he's not on their original roster, he'll probably be on the practice squad and be recycled in at some point during the season. And another thing about Jameis Winston, when he plays, when he starts, he's fun to start and he puts up fantasy points. So it isn't like a Davis Mills here that, might get you 12 points on a week he fills in. Justin Fields, I just don't think Mahomes is going to come out of any games really, unless it's absolutely necessary. Flacco definitely puts up points. But you are definitely betting on a Joe Burrow injury. Last year, Joe Burrow started out the year injured, so we knew that there would need to be a backup. And Flacco didn't get signed until week 3 or 4. But and Flacco's a great backup, but if you get, I guess, as a handcuff in the last 2 rounds, it's not bad. I think it's just unnecessary though, because well, I guess if Burrow goes down, Flacco is something, and taking a 0 from your round 19 pick, no big deal. Hell, I'm doing it with Winston for at least a dozen weeks, right? So we'll see. Just to go through it, I went Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert, Justin Jefferson, Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, Devontae Smith, Luther Burden, Jadarian Price, Mekhi Lemon as a stack with Jalen Hurts. Then Harold Fannin, Dallas Goedert as another stack with Hurts, Keaton Mitchell and Gadsden as stacks with Justin Herbert. And then close out Tyler Algier, Deebo Samuel, Deshaun Stribling as a Week 17 bringback, Jaden Blue as now a Week 17 bringback to the Giants. Tank Dell just because he's Tank Dell, Jameson Winston, Darius Slayton. Time for another draft. Let's go into the draft room real quick. So I did both the Frenchie Superflex. We have a fast puppy here. How many likes do I have? How do I tell how many likes I have? 6. I think tonight I'm going to do a fast puppy. If like tomorrow and Sunday we can get 10 likes or more, I'll do actually tomorrow. I'm going to do at least 2 eliminators. I think both Saturday and Sunday I'm going to do eliminators. We'll see though. I might mix it up. I might end up doing a whole lot of drafts, but for now I'm going to jump in a slow puppy right now. I'm giving you 7 seconds to jump in because there is a 7-second delay on when I said now and when you heard it. So there's still 3 more. If you want to join, jump in a puppy, a fast puppy. Better be a fast puppy. If I jumped in a slow puppy, yeah, no big deal. I'll just jump in a path. So 3 more for a fast puppy. If you'd like to get in, join in now. Until then, maybe I'll just pop over to some slow drafts. Usually those fill up pretty quick. Just go to my active drafts. Nine out of 12 for that. Oh, that was did I just jump in a slow puppy? I jumped in a slow puppy. I'm going to jump in a fast puppy. Let me, I swore I clicked, I was scrolling back and forth. Okay, so fast puppy. And I'm joining now, giving you 7 seconds before I actually click the button. So you have time to get in there. Fast puppy. Now, here we go. All right, so I need 8 people for the fast puppy. And let me pop out that 7 people for the fast puppy. Sorry if I screwed you all up. You guys are probably in the draft before this. Ugh, I feel awful. But jump in this fast puppy. And this will be my last draft of the night. Tomorrow, Sunday, if we can, one more for this fast puppy. Tomorrow and Sunday, I think I will definitely start out with eliminator drafts, do a couple of those, and then we'll see what you guys want me to do. I might just go with all eliminator, or if you want me to do a puppy or a BBM, you can always talk me into that. All right, what do we got? Pop it in. I'm in the 4 hole. I hate the 4 hole. ugh. I'll start with Puka, but then I'll probably the reason I hate the four hole is because it always ends up being this: Puka, Bowers, Brees Hall, and it's kind of like I'm not even left with a choice. It's just the obvious go to, whether it's my rankings or ADP. It's like kind of just a match. So, and I have a bunch of those teams, and I'm not going to switch it up just for the sake of switching it up if I honestly believe that's the best way to go about it. I just have several of those teams. And, if Brees goes early, this could be a spot where I go, might try a zero RB build. I actually think zero RB is going to be the build that works this year. It's just going to be kind of difficult to pull off because all of those like heavy use bell cow type running backs are going super early this year. And the ones you get after the dead zone are less than thrilling. But all right, so the normal draft start. Gibbs, Bijan, Chase. I'll take Puka, and we will see what happens after that. Anybody in this one? Say hi in the chat. Let me know where you're drafting from, just so I don't give you too much of an advantage. I promise I'm going to tell you what I'm thinking anyway, because I kind of forget sometimes that I'm even being watched. And at a certain point, I don't really care. If you're going to snipe me, when you snipe somebody in these type drafts, you're hurting both you and them. Not drafting, just watching. Cool. I was just wondering if anybody was in this draft. Ooh, well, look at this draft. So after my Puka goes JSN, Christian McCaffrey, ARSB, CeeDee Lamb, James Cook, Jonathan Taylor goes at the 110. These are the kind of drafts I'm like, oh man, I really pissed them in the beginning of the draft. Jonathan Taylor at the 10, Justin Jefferson at the 11, Ashton Genty is going to go at the 12 or later. Yeah, man. And that's what I say this about Genty. Like, I have Genty rank as my 5th overall now, my RB3, and I have him ahead of JSN in my draft rankings. I don't always draft them there unless it's one of those like extremely closed tournaments with very low buy-ins, max entries. Like, so in the super flex, there was a 2 max entry. So I'm going to push Ginty all the way up and make sure I get him in at least one of those drafts. In a draft like this, where you can max enter 150, just kind of go with ADP in the first 2 rounds, or I do. And ADP is going to either give me AJ Brown. I will take. I have very little Drake London, although Brock Bowers is probably the pick there. I went with London just because I have very little of him, and I kind of want to switch it up. As I said, I could have gone to Puka Bowers, and I bet you Brees Hall comes back to me. If he doesn't, great. I'll go. Well, if Jeremiah Love comes to me, I'll probably grab him too. Otherwise, I will go receiver or maybe Trey McBride. I definitely have Brock Bowers as my tight end 1. I don't think Trey McBride is really going to come close to him this year, but McBride is one of 2 tight ends that could. The other being Colston Loveland. And we'll see what happens here. All right. So it's either Brees Hall or Trey McBride, or I can go with T. Higgins, Olave, Flowers. I'll go McBride. Let me try out. So Brees Hall went right before me. I'll try this. If I had gone Bowers in the second, I bet you. Well, no, I guess Brees Hall still would have gone right before me. I would have had a bit of a dilemma there. I might have gone Etienne or Zay Flowers. I have a lot of Etienne. Flowers, I thought I had a lot of, but you know what? I might have gotten him in a bunch of slow drafts, and they need to close out beforehand. I think I'm probably at like 11 or 12% on Flowers, but I don't have one of those fancy, help you draft tools to show me all my stats on everything. I guess I kind of should cave to that sort of thing because it does give you an idea of like how to even out your exposures. But although I do a fairly high volume, I'll probably get in close to 500 drafts this year. But I don't max out any tournament unless it's like 20 or less. I would have loved AJ Brown. Kyle. He was taking the pick before me. Definitely would have jumped on him had he been there. Oh, and as it is, London and Puka have the same bye week. I just hate when my like top two running backs, top two receivers have the same bye week. It kind of like now I gotta, and late in drafts, there's a lot of like value wide receivers with a week 11 bye. So I can't just say, oh, I'll wait until the last round. Well, it depends on my stack. But all right, so I am not going to break down and get running back with my next pick, but I might run into one in the 5th, depending. Oh, not going to get Loveland. I already have McBride. All right, so Neighbors goes a couple picks before me. I should have been rattling off picks. After I take my pick in the 5th, I'll rattle off the picks from my McBride. I was hoping Waddle came to me. McLaurin. Yeah, it's McLaurin. All right, so I'm probably going to be grabbing a running back here in the 5th as my first running back. Does that qualify? Technically speaking, I can say no. It doesn't really qualify as your textbook zero RB team. Textbook zero RB is fill your flex before you draft a running back. So you would grab a 4th wide receiver before your running back. But usually within that, you also want to try to dominate the onesie positions. So it's not necessary. Like if I were to grab a quarterback in the 5th round, and I'm not going to reach for somebody like Lamar because I don't have Flowers, and I just think when at the 6'9", I know there's going to be a quarterback I like, or at the 7'4". So it's just like running back starts to kind of shout out at me like, hey, it's my time. Let's do this. And I don't really, there is a wide receiver sitting there that I like. David Montgomery's boring as shit. All right, David Montgomery's gone. It's either Jamison Williams or Quinshon Judkins. I'm just going to, shoot. I think I timed out. Oh, no, I grabbed Judkins just in time. Jamison Williams was the other guy in my queue. I'm happy with Judkins. I know he's on a crappy team, but I do think Judkins is going to get between 15 and 20 touches a game. Some of them should be receptions, although the quarterbacks there may not know how to throw to running backs. But what you want from running backs is opportunity. And yes, old-ass David Montgomery is going to get tons of opportunity in Houston. I just don't think his legs are up to it. Quinshon Judkins, I think, You know, he didn't get any training camp last year. Like he came in September. Like he wasn't even signed with the team until September. Um, Started late, didn't get any preseason, but performed well when he was playing. He did get hurt though. Maybe I should have grabbed Tootin there. It just feels as Tootin as your running back one just doesn't feel. It feels very flimsy to me. Same with Swift and Irvin. I traded my first, second, and third last year. But I have Josh Brown, AJ Brown, Rashee Rice, Kenneth Walker, Bucky Irvin as your keepers. Okay, 12-man, half PPR. You don't have any of your first three-round picks, but you have Josh Allen, AJ Brown, Rashee Rice, Kenneth Walker. So you have four picks from your first 3 rounds anyway. Like that between Kenneth Walker, Rashee Rice, AJ Brown are all kind of second round picks ish, but that counts as your first 3 rounds, and then you get the bonus Josh Allen in there, so that's pretty sweet. Yeah, I would definitely lock that team in. That's a good looking team. Although, yeah, Kittle I only like in tournaments like this because I don't have to worry about when to start him. He's very boom bust, and I think that even gets more erratic this coming year. I need to pay attention. All right, so I got Puka. Oh, Jaden Daniels. Woohoo! Stacked with McLaurin. That's the hotness. Drake May, Caleb Williams, and Lamar went in the 6th. See, so Lamar falling to the 6th here, I think is insane. And technically speaking, like Lamar, May, Daniels should really be going in the beginning of the 5th round here, kind of like maybe definitely before Swift and Irvin, maybe before Tootin, mid 5th, right? All of them going in the 6th are just like, how do you say no? And it's really tough for me to like even say no to Prescott and Herbert, but I tend to do it, especially when I already have a quarterback. This week 11 thing is going to kill me. All right, I'll take Jaylen Warren. He's a week 9 bye. Ramondre Stevenson was another one I was eyeing up just as a kind of like, so this is when you're doing 0 RB, technically Quinshon Judkins should have been Jameson Williams. Jameson Williams. And actually, I should have done that just to get a true 0 RB team. That would have looked really good. And really what I'm hoping for is this 7th, 8th, and 9th round, and even the 10th round. Well, I won't do the 10th round here. So the 8th and 9th round, I'm going to prioritize running back unless something odd really happens and falls. So it would normally be like normally in a 0 RB, I have a wide receiver in the 5th round, and then 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm definitely getting running back, maybe even 11 and 12. When you do 0 RB, you get 6 running backs, and you get them all in those mid rounds. You don't really worry about the super late round running backs. You kind of stack your 4 receivers to begin with, throw in either a tight end or a quarterback, in this case both. Get your 6 running backs and then fill in the rest of your team later. I kind of pushed Quinshon Judkins in there, so I'll like that 10th round, either in the 8th, 9th, or 10th, I'll squeeze in probably a quarterback, maybe, or a wide receiver, depending on what actually. Oh, Prescott and Lawrence. Oh, I have it my rank instead of ADP, but yeah, Prescott's still sitting around. Really wish I can backstack Prescott. If Prescott comes to me, I'm going to grab him. The running backs that are going to come back to me in the 9th round, I'm going to get the guy I like. But sitting here in this 8th round, I'm probably like, all right, there goes Lawrence. If Dak falls to me, his ADP is 80, and we're a pick 93. Yeah, I'll take Dak here. I'll backstack him with Flournoy and Ferguson, his tight end. Hope for the best there. Maybe Pickens goes. I could have grabbed Mahomes and backstacked them with Worthy too. Oh, I want to get quarterbacks out of here now. So I will go 2 quarterback in this one. We're very much in the 3 quarterback meta. So I like to switch that up or go cut against the grain there and get 2 quarterbacks in the first 9 rounds, and then just hold it at 2. When I don't get a quarterback until like the 8th or 9th round, I usually will wait and grab, something in like the 13th and 15th round or something like that. And I will have 3, but this way I have an extra roster spot for a 6th running back, and I can still go 7 wide receivers and 3 tight ends. All right, so coming back around the turn, Jonathan Brooks made it back to me. Really feel good about him being my 3rd running back in pretty much any case. I was getting a bunch of Jonathan Brooks when he was in the 14th, 15th round. I had my ownership percentage up to like 36, 37% at one point. And then as he's risen, I've gotten him less and less. But he's kind of settled in this 9th round range here. And as you can see, like, I just think he is definitely the highest upside running back in this range. In fact, like, he's got higher upside, I think, than his teammate Chuba Hubbard. I still have Harvey. Actually, I should move Brooks ahead of Harvey in my rankings. I like him better than Monangai. I like him better than Dowdle, Corum, Dobbins, any of those guys. And maybe I shouldn't. Maybe it's all hype. Maybe I'm falling for the same Marshawn Lloyd trap I have for the past, 3 years. But he's one of those guys that could literally break fantasy. He could be an RB1. He has the talent to do it. Whether he has the team around him to do it is another thing we will have to see. All right. So in this range, let me think. Prescott, Daniels. I don't really have to worry about Daniels stacking him. The bringbacks for Washington are Jacksonville. None of those here. Ooh. There goes Pitts. He was my next in queue. Next by ADP is Aaron Jones. And he'll be good in a 0 RB type build to kind of start out the season. If Judkins or Warren or Brooks start out slow, Aaron Jones should see 12 to 15 touches week 1, and let's say 4 of them are receptions, and he might squeak in the end zone. He should give us a solid RB score for the first, let's say first 5 weeks up until his bye. After week 6, could be anything, could be nothing. But we now have 4 running backs and only 3 receivers. So maybe I should be eyeing up some receivers. Prescott, Dallas. Dallas plays the Giants week 17. Washington plays Jacksonville. Jacoby Myers went. Not too much selection at either running back or receiver. Do I go tight end? No. Oh, I should probably. Yeah, I probably should reach a little bit here for Jake Ferguson just for the stack. It kind of sucks. Like I would like Jaden Higgins, Jordan Mason to stack with Aaron Jones in this type of build is actually a really good idea. I like Romeo Dubs. Mark Andrews, I think, is a better tight end than Jake Ferguson, but I gotta like Jake Ferguson. I don't think would have made it back to me. He like in ADP, he was like 120. Actually, I can look. He's 128 in ADP. I took him 4 spots ahead of ADP. Not really a stretch. Just want to secure that, lock down the stack because I don't have Pickens or CD Lamb. And I did get Dak Prescott at a hyper value. So, you know, a 4-pick reach isn't really a reach in the 11th round. It's just the players I had to pick them over that I like. But they just didn't fit in this, right? I do want, if Chigakonkwo makes it back to me, I am on that. I don't really need another tight end. Oh, yes, I do, because McBride and Jake Ferguson have the same bye week. Oh, well. But if I don't get Chig, I will literally wait until like the last round to get a tight end or close to it, depending on what else falls. I definitely should be eyeing up both running back and receiver. I still only have the 3 receivers. Now I'm actually wishing I went with 4 receivers off the top instead of Quinshon. Well, no, Quinshon's kind of holding that RB room together a little bit as I navigate through some tight ends here. I could get Travis Hunter. Hate when the like stacks and bringbacks are like within 2 picks of each other. There goes Tyrone Tracy. He was a bringback I would have liked. It's going to be tough choices here, kids. Chigakonkwo is 1 spot behind Travis Hunter in ADP. Maybe there's enough newbies in here that they stay away from Travis Hunter. I'm going to get Chig, close out that tight end room. Just focus on 2 more running back and a whole bunch of receivers. So I kind of like deviated because of my tight ends there, because of, actually the Trey McBride one was the one that throws off this whole situation, because if I'm going T-Ferg, Chigakonkwo, I can still get a 3rd tight end later and feel good about the tight end room. Chances are I'm going to have a tight end in the flex for a few weeks at least, which will work nicely on this team. Ooh, come on, 1 more pick until I get my guy. Give me my guy. Y'all are awesome people. Really, truly appreciate. Travis Hunter is a bring back to Washington. All I really need to tidy up this team is a New York Giant bring back, but literally don't like any other Giants. So that's probably not going to happen. Let me think. Oh, Flournoy. I missed Flournoy, didn't I? Is he gone? Oh, maybe opening my mouth too quick. And you know what's going to happen is like literally he'll make it around the turn and he'll make it halfway back, and like 2 picks before me, Flournoy will go. But c'est la vie. There are other guys here. Some. Nothing amazingly stand out. That week 11 bye might bite me in the ass. We'll see, though. Come on. After my Travis Hunter pick went Isaiah Pacheco, Jalen Naylor, Denzel Boston, Hunter Henry, Brenton Strange, Jalen McMillan, who's been getting some good buzz lately, Trey Tucker, Tajay Spear closed out 13th. Then we have Tank Bigsby, Deebo Samuel, Jonah Coleman, Aaron Rodgers, Bryce Young. In the 14th, we got 3 picks before mine. Leave me my guy. Come on. Go ahead. Reach for your guys. Reach for your stacks. That's it. That's what you should be doing. Okay. Tight end, quarterback. Get those. I don't need any of those. Let's go. Let's go. If anybody's curious, I think it's I'm waiting on the next guy in ADP, Brian Flournoy. There he goes. All right, I'm gonna get. Let me just see. Nah, that's all right. I'll get Tyler Algier. I could have gotten Dylan Sampson and kind of stack cuff Quinshon Judkins. And I might actually just do that on the way back. I was kind of hoping to save my last running back for Jaden Blue as a stack with Dallas. I could do that too. But let me look at receivers here. Oh, there's Antonio Williams. I don't really need to triple stack Washington. Those guys got week 11 buys. Shoot for the moon with him and him. All right, so how many? I only have 4 wide receivers, so I can go wide receiver crazy, kind of. Dylan Sampson does tidy up this team nicely. But I feel the need for wide receiver. We'll see if the wide receiver I have next in queue goes. And actually, this wide receiver was going like 3 rounds later. And his Adonai Mitchell's been driven up. I'm going to grab him. It's just like his bye week kind of fits nicely into, like, it doesn't cross over with anybody. Potentially high upside. I mean, if Dylan Sampson makes it all the way back, I'll grab him. But really, I think my next pick will be Jaden Blue. Actually, if Jaden Blue makes it back to me, just as a stack with Dallas, does have the same bye week as Tyler Algier, but hopefully by week 14, Judkins, Warren, Brooks, and, well, hopefully one of those 3 are established. As we said, Aaron Jones, I don't expect in the second half of the season. Just need him for 5 weeks. Whoop. Dropped the ball. All right, so after my Adonai Mitchell, we see A.J. Barner, T.J. Hawkinson, Jerry Jeudy, Dalton Schultz, Katron Allen. Ooh, that's early for him, I feel. Brian Robinson, Alvin Kamara, Cade Otton closes out the 15th. To start the 16th, we have Greg Dulcich. We see Tank Dell go, my guy, who used to go in the 17th, 18th. And actually, for a little bit there, I saw him creeping up to he's almost in the 15th here, 16.2. And then Zachariah Branch, another guy I like. He's one of those with the week 11 bye, like Jerry Jeudy that I talked about in the beginning of our draft. Then we see George Halani, Dylan Sampson. Man, he almost made it all the way back to me. I couldn't have said no to him again. I don't like to get him and Judkins in the same draft, but because you're talking about, so my philosophy has always been this. If the round you draft a handcuff in adds up to more than the total rounds in the draft. So we see I grabbed Judkins in the 5th round. Maybe I would have grabbed Dylan Sampson in the 15th. I'm going to grab Jaden Blue right here. And I will close out this draft with 2 wide receivers. So who do I have again? I have Washington. I have the bring back for them. Dallas is the bring back as the Giants. I'm not going to do that. Okay. I'm just going to pick best receivers available. I only have 5. So, all right. Just kind of want to focus a second on queuing some guys up. All right. What was my thought? Dylan Sampson. So Quinshon Judkins, I grabbed in the 5th. Dylan Sampson, I was thinking about in the 15th. 5 plus 15 is 20. There's 18 rounds in this draft. It's okay. Drafting your handcuff isn't a great philosophy in best ball, because what you're generally saying is that you're automatically taking a 0 with one of your picks, and you want to try to limit your zeros. Your zeros really hurt your advancement rate. I'm going to grab, just want to check something. Yeah, I'm going to draft Pat Bryant here. I think he has the lock on the wide receiver 3 position and in Denver. And if he stays healthy, I could see him really cutting in on Cortland Sutton in the second half of the season. But as far as your handcuffs, usually if Quinshon Judkins is in, Dylan Sampson is doing nothing. You kind of would want a handcuff that has a role. So, so you could do if Hubbard and Brooks were going like a round later each. So if you got Hubbard in the 8th and Brooks in the 10th, that adds up to 18. And then you get both value. They'll ham and egg weeks. You'll see Hubbard or let's say RJ Harvey and Coleman, if there was no J.K. Dobbins in the picture. When you have the 3, what up, big shooter? When you have 3 running backs, it kind of makes that handcuff thing cloudy, unless you do a Keaton Mitchell, Kamani Vidal, like their rounds they get drafted in will certainly add up to more than 18. You could even take them into 20, or actually I'll be doing 34 round best ball drafts towards the end of the month. Actually, I need to check out my schedule. I might start those next week. The NFC 30 round best ball drafts. There'll certainly be some Kamani Vidal being taken there. But my point is with this stat, you could do Jaden Blue and Javonte Williams. So Javonte Williams in the 4th, Jaden Blue in the 16th. That adds up to 20. 4 and 16 adds up to 20. You could stack cuff them, and I would think that would be a pretty good way to go about things. Good plan for drafting. Okay. Maybe I will bring Mooney been taken. Yeah, Mooney went. Tyquan Thornton, Devon Vele, Jacoby Lane. I'll go Tyquan Thornton. That's kind of that's last round. Whatever. Last round of 3 drafts. Let me go over this one. And if anybody in the chat was in this draft, let me know what position you came from, and I'll go over your team too. Started out with Puka Nacua, Drake London, Trey McBride, Terry McLaurin for the kind of sort of 0 RB. Although, as I talked about, if it was true 0 RB, I would have gotten Jameson Williams instead of Quinshon Judkins and then gone from there. I'm going to call this a 0 RB team because I did then in the 6th go Jaden Daniels. Super best, please, and thank you. Oh, super best. Oh, all right. Super beast. My bad. Okay, you're there. I'll go over you. Awesome. That's you, Keith. Super beast. Big shooter is the super beast. I should be able to remember that. All right, so I'm going to call this a true 0 RB because I did go Jaden Daniels in the 6th. Let's say I flip-flop Jaden Daniels and Quinshon Judkins. It becomes a true 0 RB, although I don't fill my flex there, but I do have 2 premium onesies. I'll call it 0 RB. After Jaden Daniels goes, I take Jalen Warren, come back with Dak Prescott because he was like at least 10 spots after ADP. I think it was closer to 14. It was a full round after ADP. So when he falls, I got to grab him, and I just tried to backstack him as best I could. In the ninth, I grabbed my guy, Jonathan Brooks. Always talk about. Came back with Aaron Jones just to get that running back room bolstered up. Come back with 2 tight ends just because they are stacks on quarterback. Well, I guess I didn't have to go Okonkwo, but both the other tight ends had week 14 bye, and I think Okonkwo is not only a stack. I think he's going to put up very consistent production. I see him sliding right into that Zach Ertz role. He's actually even more athletic than Zach Ertz. May not be the pass catcher Ertz was, but should slide right into that role. Then I grabbed Travis Hunter as a bring back for Washington in week 17. Tyler Algier just as a super safe floor type double condom pick in a thin running back room. Adonai Mitchell was just kind of a next player available. Didn't really see any stacks. Although there was one that I kind of missed in here. I forget. It was Flournoy. But I was waiting on Flournoy to come back to me with Algier. What are you going to do? Then I got Jaden Blue for a stack with Dallas and finished up with Pat Bryant and Tyquan Thornton. Tyquan Thornton should have a pretty consistent floor. It won't be a 0. It may not be much, but it shouldn't be a 0. All right, so Super Beast starts out from the 7 hole with ARSB. You have ARSB over Jonathan Taylor, huh? I guess that's not that uncommon. I mean, I have Ashton Genty over Jonathan Taylor too. Just kind of and I have to look at my rankings. Maybe I have put ARSB ahead of Taylor. But then you come back with Derrick Henry, Chris Olave, Javonte Williams, DeAndre Swift. So 3 running backs in the first 5 rounds. I was doing that a lot, and then just kind of looked at my teams and like the wide receiver firepower. So the wide receiver firepower on my teams seemed a lot less than what I would need because I'm grabbing quarterbacks in this 6, 7, 8 range, usually 2 of them. So then I really would feel behind at wide receiver. But you come back with Jordan Tyson, Jaden Reed, you bolster up your wide receiver room, and then you get the Detroit stack here with Laporta and Goff, and now it's a double stack with Amon-Ra. Tyler Shuck stacks with Jordan Tyson, throw in Jordan Mason, which should be a nice, consistent fill in the gaps and no zeros in your RB room. Oronde Gadsden. I like Gadsden, although I would like to see, I feel like Gadsden was falling a little bit. Maybe all the tight ends get pushed up a little bit, but I'd like to see if Gadsden can fall just based on all of the nonsense hype from the Kohler Vortex. I'm calling it. Charlie Kohler has been pumped up by Leg Up and their sidekick and Sacrilegious, who works for Leg Up. Is really high on Kohler. So I say everybody's falling into the Kohler vortex. All right. So I drifted off to the side here. Mason Gadsden, Denzel Boston. I talked about him a few rounds ago. Like I keep hearing really good things about him, but I don't know. Maybe I don't know what I grab in this range. This 13th round seems like filled the guys that I don't particularly care for. But I guess maybe I might be going tight end in that range or coming back with a running back. I just I get Tracy in the 12th. Just having a hard time figuring out what I do in the 13th that I don't have a lot of Denzel Boston. But all right, so you in the 14th, you grab Jawan Johnson for your stack with Shuck. Little Jerry Judy. You got a Cleveland thing? Yeah, you grab Shedeur Sanders for three double stacks, right? So you have Goff double stacked with Laporta and Monra, Shuck double stacked with Johnson and Olave, and then Sanders double stacked with Judy and Boston. Are we throwing in anything else in there? Yeah. And then this Ted Hurst, there's upside there. Actually, there's probably going to be good upside there, right? Because if any of the other three wide receivers goes down, Hurst is that permanent X by the end of the season. I think McMillan starts out as their X, but you're right. Hurst is definitely going to be worked in. And with old ass Godwin there, you could see Hurst coming into action a lot quicker. Emmett Johnson. Have you heard anything about him? Oh, is it a triple stack for Shuck? I missed a guy. Jordan Tyson and Olave. Right. Wow. All right. That's a lot to put on Shuck's shoulders. But with Goff, Laporta there, you have just this consistent base, and you can take advantage of the boom weeks with New Orleans and Cleveland. I think Shedeur Sanders is probably your best bet. Actually, Shedeur Sanders changes things now that I think about it. I was just avoiding quarterbacks in general, Cleveland quarterbacks in general, but Watson may not get any starts. And if he does, it'll be for like the first 6 weeks, and then they'll go 0-6 and fill in Shedeur Sanders. At worst, Shedeur Sanders starts after their week 11 bye. He's there for the playoff run. That's actually a really good idea. I'm going to have to start. And that way, the more quarterbacks we can get into this cycle, the longer they last. Geno Smith lasting into the 17th. Wow. Usually, like if I'm going 3 quarterbacks, Geno Smith is my third. But usually I got to get him in I guess the 16th. I grab him right after Adonai Mitchell. But to get him now mid to late 17th is pretty good. And Sanders now coming into that mix. That's actually, I'm gonna have to start to use that. Like, I like the idea of getting one of your premium quarterbacks in this 6th round. Like, the 6th round is just chock full of like undervalued quarterbacks. I mean, I guess they're undervalued by 1 round, but it just feels like you're getting something special. And actually, in the 8th round here, these guys, if Lawrence, Prescott, and Mahomes make it to the 8th, you can start out with 1 in this area and then literally come back in the 17th and 18th with Geno Smith and Shedeur Sanders, or like even, maybe I wish these guys in the 12th would back off 2 rounds like they should. Or Cam Ward back off to the 15th. Bryce Young back off to the 15th. Rodgers should be going in the 16th, 17th. It's just that 3 QB meta has these late round quarterbacks not being so late. And I think with the infusion of Shedeur seems to be that right pick on Cleveland. That'll be useful to me, and I'll start to use that. Great draft, though, there, Keith. Just this smart stacking, player placement. Mine looks scatterbrained compared to yours. Good job. All right, so that's going to be it for tonight. I will be back tomorrow and Sunday. Not sure what time, kind of when it moves me. Probably in the evening. I seem to get more people coming in the evening participating. Look for some eliminator drafts there. I guess I'll maybe mix in a few puppies. And then if we get enough people watching, I'll mix in a BBM. Until then, might have some updates on the website this weekend as well. Check out wheelrouteff.com, and I will check you.